we are skipping the inspirational quotes today. We are looking at the messy, quietly exhausting reality where an INFJ's psychological gifts turn into their heaviest traps. To actually understand an INFJ, you have to look past the social performance. You have to recognize that behind the nods and smiles, they are often performing emergency emotional surgery on themselves just to stay in the room. Small talk is physically draining for an INFJ because their brain doesn't naturally operate at a surface level. While a coworker talks about their weekend, the INFJ is instinctively searching for the real story underneath the words. Forcing themselves to suppress that depth for 20 minutes of chit-chat is an active, exhausting performance. This diagram illustrates what happens when an INFJ makes a plan. As they pre-experience a complex web of emotional milestones, they build a cinematic universe. If that plan changes, the internal universe collapses, forcing them to rebuild an entirely new emotional map. This constant internal management makes setting boundaries feel dangerous. When an INFJ says no to a request, their nervous system mirrors the other person's disappointment. They aren't just being nice, they are trying to avoid the physical weight of someone else's discomfort. Constructive criticism hits a similar wall. While their logical brain hears a useful suggestion, their emotional brain hears evidence that they've failed an impossible standard. They don't just hear the feedback, they let it echo in their inner world until it sounds like a total condemnation of who they are. To manage this, INFJs become brilliant engineers of emotional outcomes. They soften truths, swallow their own opinions, and say what keeps the peace. They manage conversations rather than having them, ensuring no one is uncomfortable, especially them. This creates a tragic result. They build lives where they are deeply loved for their utility and their empathy, but because they are always managing the outcome, they remain genuinely unknown by the people closest to them. This displacement continues in their relationship with time. INFJs are rarely present because their minds are permanently living elsewhere. This matrix shows their decision-making process. Low-stakes choices instantly spawn dozens of overlapping future variables. But when not projecting forward, they archive the past. Unresolved pain is sucked backward into an internal vault, where they examine it from every angle. This emotional data stays internal for years. It ferments quietly, unknowingly shaping how they show up in new relationships. A betrayal from 3 years ago stays as fresh as a conversation from last Tuesday because it has never been truly released. By spending so much energy processing future variables and auditing past pain, INFJs often miss the tiny, beautiful moments that make an ordinary day worth living. This habit of prioritizing everyone else's emotional state, the conflict avoidance, the constant mirroring, the archiving of others' pain, is a learned survival mechanism. For many INFJs, being low maintenance and useful was how they earned love and safety early in life. Because of that wiring, they face an existential crisis when their utility is taken away. When a career ends or a relationship collapses, they don't just feel directionless, they feel like they have ceased to exist in any meaningful way. If your identity is built entirely on being the wise friend, the healer, or the peacemaker, who are you when the mission ends? When you spend all your energy mastering everyone else's identity, you eventually realize you've neglected to build one of your own. This exhausting internal complexity doesn't mean you are broken, it simply means you are human. You have spent your life being the person everyone else leans on, but you are allowed to be more than just a support system. Awareness is only the start. You have to take that profound gift of understanding and, for once, turn it inward. You have to ask, what do I need? What is actually true for me? This is years of intentional work. It means unlearning the belief that you are only worthy of love when you are serving someone else. It means learning that your own peace is as valid as anyone else's. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to be messy, unfinished, and uncertain. You are allowed to just be a person, instead of a purpose. And that is more than enough.